Yankees have had to deal with a good amount of injuries to the bullpen this season, and that's caused a lot of Yankee fans to call on the Yankees to trade for a top relief pitcher this year, like David Bednar. But I want to present two under the radar trade targets for the Yankees that could bolster the bullpen without having to give up a lot of prospects. So if you like Yankees news and Yankees content, then please subscribe. But let's get into this. Now, David Bednar is obviously the one player everyone wants, but I'm not as big of a fan as on getting him as some, because the Yankees are really good at getting nobodies and making them really, really good. Bednar's having a super, super good season, has a 1.33 ERA, 1.92 FIP, but he will cost a ton of prospects. You're going to have to give up at least one top 10 prospect to get him, and then probably a couple more, prospects that are in that 15 to 20 range. So I'm not the biggest fan of targeting him, especially when the Yankees are really, really good at getting nobodies and making them pretty good, like Wandy Peralta, and the extreme example, Clay Holmes, who is probably an all-star this season. So let's get into two players that I want the Yankees to target here. The first is Chris Stratton. Now, Stratton is currently with the Pittsburgh Pirates, so they are not doing too well and could be in a position to sell. He is a free agent in 2024, so we have 2 more years of team control there, and he's having a decent season, but I think it's been pretty underrated. So far, he has a 3.75 ERA, but what I like a lot is his 2.9 or 2.79 xERA and 2.52 FIP, which is fielding independent pitching. He also has amazing spin rates, which we know the Yankees care a ton about. His fastball is in the 100th percentile in spin rate, and his curveball is in the 99th percentile. I could see the Pirates being open to trading him. I think the Yankees could pounce on this due to him having an alright season so far, the underlying metrics being very good, and a lot of upside due to the high spin rates. I would trade Beck Way, the Yankees' 21st prospect, according to MLB Pipeline, and Elijah Dunham, the Yankees' 26th ranked prospect, according to MLB Pipeline. Way is a pitcher. He so far in his 2022 minor league season, he's put up a 4.62 ERA and high A, but he struck out a lot of batters and had decent control, so there's some upside there. And Dunham is an outfielder who so far in Double-A at 24 years old is hitting .252 with a .320 on base percentage and a .472 slugging. I think this could be a really good trade to have someone who has a little bit of team control and would not cost a lot of prospects for the Yankees. But here's the one that I'm really interested in. The one that I think could have a massive impact on the Yankees and a long-lasting one. Kylefinnegan. Not someone you've probably heard about, because he's with the Washington Nationals, who are another team that is doing absolutely horrible this year and could be looking to sell off some of their players. Now, he is a sinker slider pitcher, and he's another guy who's having a decent season but has really good underlying metrics. So far, he has a 3.68 ERA, not bad, but he has a 2.74 xERA, which is expected ERA, and 2.96 FIP, which is amazing. As I said, a sinker slider guy. Reminds me a little bit of Clay Holmes in that sense. He's pretty tall. He throws the sinker relatively hard. Not as hard as Holmes, but Holmes is an anomaly. Doesn't have quite as much movement, but a decent amount. I think he has a lot of upside there. And what I really like about him is he's a free agent in 2026 and has 3 minor league options remaining. So this would be a perfect guy to trade for. You trade for him, and you have him on the roster until someone like Loizica comes back. Then you can send him down to the minors, where he can work on his pitching and probably hone in on his stuff. Then if another injury happens, you call him right back up. He has 3 years of minor league options. Really, really good there. And he's a free agent in 2026. Really solid. I would give up Beck Way and Will Warren for him. Yankees 21 and 27th ranked prospects. I talked about Beck Way already, but Will Warren is a reliever in the Yankees farm, and so far this season in High A and Double A, he's put up a 3.94 ERA. He's been solid. He could be someone that takes Finnegan's spot in the bullpen for the Nationals, which would be good for them. And the Nationals would also get a decent starting pitching prospect in Beck Way. So that's why they might want to do it. They're not in a position to win right now and probably aren't going to be in a spot to win over the next couple of years. So makes sense for them to do this trade and get two prospects who could have impacts for the team. So those are two under the radar moves that the Yankees could make to increase the bullpen. So tell me what you think of these moves in the comments below. If you have any under the radar pitchers, then please comment them.